Oh, I'm dynamite. Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Kim back again, present Mr. Kimani Capital. And today, as always, we are gonna gear up, very tighten our seats, and do some TA. I'm back to basics learning. And as always, guys, make sure you collect your diamonds on CoinMarketCap, right? Make sure you collect the diamonds on CoinMarketCap and your candies on CoinGecko, because I just did that, right? So today morning I started this um, the Forex Candlestick Bible, guys. The Forex Candlestick Bible from the arguably the best trader alive, right? I mean, um, yeah, and it was just a farming things that I already know, right? Nothing new, because chatting is nothing new. Everything is still the same since how it was the last 2 decades. It's still the same candlesticks, right? Nothing has changed. The same candlesticks. You're using Japanese candlestick. If you're using Hekenashi, it's the same. So anything that happened 20 years ago is still alive and working right now, right? So it's good to learn from history. It's good to learn, um, keep reminding yourself, right? And practicing it. But then today, I just learned the one thing that I bought from this presentation is that, and I've still not yet done. I'll continue doing it every single morning until I finish it, right? Because it's not an order, just that I want to finish. I want to know what. So you can see, guys, today we are super green, but that's not the point. The point that I've gotten very, very informative from this, from the candlestick Bible, is that top-down analysis is the best analysis, right? Top-down analysis. What does that mean? That means that you have to start your analysis from weekly time frame. If you're a swing trader who is super swinging, okay, you can go all the way to your monthly time frame. So let's just start here with Bitcoin, okay? Let's just start here with Bitcoin, and I will remove everything from the charts so that it can be super clean, okay, including these moving averages. I want the chart to be super clean, okay. Let me just so let's go to the weekly time frame, okay. Let's go to the weekly time frame. Good. So basically, what the author emphasizes that the higher the time frame, the strong the zone, the strong the trend line. So if you draw a trend line in the weekly time frame, chances are it is available. Okay, if you draw a zone in the weekly time frame, chances are it is valid as well, right? It's gonna be a very strong zone. So like for me right now, I can see here, and I like denoting my zones in a rectangle, just because there is no particular line that can be a resistance. It has to be a zone, right? Yeah. So if I come and put in, and I love putting my zones on weeks, right? Because as you can see here, price bounced here a couple of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a very strong zone. So if anything, Bitcoin has a very strong support at 30k, right? If we break 30k now, that's dangerous. We're gonna, of course, go see the 20k and probably even 10k region, right? So right now, this tells us that we are still super bullish. Okay, you can even see right now. Okay, we have not yet made any lower low from a huge time, and this is what gives you hope as an investor or a trader, right? Because you don't have to panic seeing these pullbacks, because these pullbacks are super healthy, right? It's good people to take profits. It's good for people for pullbacks so that people can get good buying prices, right? But if you break structure now from this higher time frame, now we know that it's hot. It's not rosy, right? Yeah. So that is our first zone right there. Okay. And yeah, so I'm expecting price to come bounce all the way here. If it does, if it breaks this lower uh, lower low right here, which was not a lower low but a higher low, which was 30 35, let's say 34 500, right there. If you break this low now, I will know that. Let me just note it right there. I will know if you break this rule right here, I will know now that we are now headed to the 30k region. So that zone is a very strong zone for me, very strong zone for anyone in the space right now. Okay, it's a very strong zone all the way. 34.5. I love keeping it smooth. Let me just have it right there. So if you break that, wow, it's gonna be dangerous. Okay, so again, I'm seeing a trend line right here. This is a trend line for me. Okay, this sounds like a trend line. I don't want to go where I want. Why don't you want to go where I want? Okay, so that's a nice trend line right there. You can see we broke this trend line on a weekly time frame. Okay, which was very bullish, and a lot of people got super bullish with it. And this is what we call price action. But then we got a very strong. This is what they call a hammer, or a shooting star, or a hanging man. Um, and if you get such kind of a candlestick, and this is a weekly time frame, guys. So these are whole 7 days. Price went up, but then sellers came in, pushed it down on this shoot. Very strong reversal candle, very strong, indeed. And we saw a price drop very, very profoundly. Right now, this was past 2 weeks. This is that week, and we are seeing like pricing decision, the momentum of the sellers is kind of holding up a little bit, but you see we're still hanging. There's no particular zone right here, so I think we're still gonna come retest this zone before even going further down and make a double bottom. Okay, so drop, okay, go up, come down, retest, have a double bottom, and then now we have enough momentum to carry us along, which is perfectly fine, which is still bullish, right? So right now we're looking at a scenario where we are still going to see a further downside. So now in our minds we know that in the weekly time frame, right, in this week, chances are, unless invalidated, we have a higher chance of seeing a downtrend because of the past 2 weeks experience, okay, before further upside. Or you're gonna see, an indecision candlestick form around here, and we can even blow up, but I'm seeing it come all the way down here. Okay, this 34k region, form a double bottom on this weekly time frame, which is gonna be very, very important and very bullish. Okay, and then we go up. So having knowing that, we know now, like we will be looking more to selling setups. Okay, so we go to the daily time frame. Okay, go to the daily time frame and now start seeing now other zones that we can zone off right now. And to me now, remember this, we are looking at this as a support going down. Okay, and yeah, I'm seeing this resistance right here. Okay, this is a resistance zone right here. That's a resistance zone, very clean. 45. We tried break it, came down. Tried break it, came down. Come again. This was the third touch, which was crazy, and also from the double top right there. Then it came down. So, and chances that we're going to see us coming all the way down here again and bounce back again or break to the 30k. We are going to wait and see. But then, you can see here we are in a sort of a range. We are not yet in a clear trend. We're sort of in a range, which is amazing because if you trade with the trend, you already are done with trading, because that was a clear downtrend. Should have written that, right? So right now, after a very big move like this, okay, this is a very big move. This is a very big downtrend around. We're talking about over 50% drop, guys, from Bitcoin. And you know what that means, guys? We're talking about 50% drop, guys. Yeah, okay? We're talking about 50% drop right there, okay? So, is that there? Over 52% drop right there, okay? So, after very big move like that, we have to see consolidation, and see the longer the consolidation, the better, because that means that the next move that's going to happen, either breaking upward or downward, it's going to be super strong, because we had a very immense time consolidating here, liquidating um, the retail traders, and then once the whales are confident and are waiting for this opportunity now to buy in, whew, we go up. And you can see, guys, we have not yet broken structure again. And I don't know if it makes sense, but I think, yeah, it clearly makes sense. I love keeping my charts clean. To be honest, I'm more of a price action trader, because I'm more of want to react to what's going on. But then having now that top-down analysis helps me now know exactly what I'm doing and what to expect. Because right now I know in the weekly time frame, okay, we are expecting it to come and bounce off this. It cannot just hang. Yeah, okay, I understand here we had a very strong zone. Okay, these are very strong candlesticks, which are kind of indecisive. They're not yet decided where to go, right? Are we going up or down? So that means here there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of indecision, a lot of selling pressure, a lot of buying pressure, and that's what we are seeing, and that's why we saw this kind of nice little bounce right there before we see further down. Okay, and come retest here, and if now we break this, okay, if we break this now, we're going to the third K. If we don't, I expect a bounce here, which would be a nice double top, or I still see us, kind of ranging here a little bit. So which will be cool as well, because now we can take a long all the way here, because it is a key zone on our daily time frame and also on our weekly time frame. Make sense? Absolutely. So now we can see in our daily time frame, we had this small little bounce yesterday, and today, like sellers are want to put the price up, but still they start strong buying pressure. Okay. So now, what am I expecting? What am I expecting from this? Right. So we go now down to the 4-hour time frame. So here now is when now we start. I start now putting in other zones, right? Because now uh, from, we have these bigger time frame zones, and these are very legit zones, because the higher the time frame, oh, the stronger the effect, the stronger the zone. That's what I want to emphasize on. So, guys, you can see your price came and got rejected a couple of times. So this is probably a mini resistance right here. Let me just quickly draw it so that you can see it. Yeah, and I denote it very clearly there with a small rectangle. But this zone right here, this is a clear resistance zone which was broken and never came to retest it, and it was a very strong zone. You can see right here, never came to retest it. Now we are back. We came, and we even didn't pause right there. We broke it, came, retested it back, and then came back again. And now I think that's what we are doing. We are trying to reclaim it again. We are trying to reclaim this zone before a further downside. I don't know if we are going to really go to this zone, but I hope we do go there. And then we are going to reclaim it. Once we reclaim it, then I'll be looking at a short. Nice, clean short right here. Okay, and with my target to be this zone, which remember is our very key zone in the weekly time frame and the daily time frame. So once we do this and have my stop loss at 2%, which is yeah, and I have a nice clean 1 to 4 to reward ratio. And see, that's a 10% move for Bitcoin, which is not small, guys. And I'm not saying this is gonna happen. This is just that's how powerful the top-down analysis. We can even break all the way, come retest here, and even break away. That can happen. But you see, guys, the aim here is not to become, uh, not to always be right. Okay, is to follow your analysis. If invalidation happens, that's just it. It's invalidation. Like just happened. It's invalidated. Your trade is invalidated. That means you suck as a trader. That means you didn't analyze well. No, that means that your analysis is not validated. If you stick to analysis, you're going to lose, if I lose here, I'm going to lose this 2%. But then, when my analysis comes to, well, I'm going to make 10%, which is going to cover this 2%. Even if I lost 2%, okay, in a row, that's 6%. If I make one good trade for 10%, I get 4% profit, which is amazing, right? Fantastic. And now, once we know that, right? Once we know that, it's very simple. Now we start duplicating. Actually, this is a very nice setup. I don't know if it's gonna play out well, but you know what? What I'm gonna do? Ah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to screenshot it, post it, and have it on record. Okay, that's a very nice setup. BTC chart. Okay, good. So once we are done with that, now replicate the same. And I told you guys, I always tell you, let me just show you back again. The only ads to trade, you have to trade ads with volume. And that's what I do every single day. I come to CoinGecko right here, first thing, volume. Okay, this 24-hour volume right here. Okay, and the first three, of course, these are always, most of the time, they are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Tether, the stablecoin, the most used stablecoin, because people take profits to Tether, right? So the next altcoin that I find here, right, you probably have volume. So you have XRP right there, has 4 billion in volume. Amazing. This is a stablecoin. This is a stablecoin. Then we have Luna. Luna is actually rising in volume. Okay, so Luna right there. So I'm looking at Luna, Solana, and XRP. Right. These are the coins I want to be looking at right now. Okay. So yeah, and they are here. You can see they are all here. So we start with Solana. We can do the same shit, guys. We can do the same thing over and over. So we start with one. Okay, top down analysis. Okay, this is top down analysis. This was an alert I had, but hey, um, let me just remove it. Okay, yes, I said remove it. Yeah. So now when we zoom out, you can see this very nice, you know, bullish bullish chart for Solana, which broke out, from all the way from $25 to $260. Made a clean 10x, which is amazing. People made a lot of money in Solana last year. I passed it out buying shit coins, guys. It's crazy how it happens, how these things happen. Super crazy, guys. But so, um what am I seeing here? So one, of course, we are seeing this trend line that is super duper cool. um we are that means we're in a super downtrend, right? We're in a super downtrend. Then I'm also seeing this zone right here, which is a very strong support for Solana right now. Okay, guys, we break this. Okay, if you break this, you can see here we have no resistance prior to that. I don't know even what stopped Solana price here. We have zero resistance from this bull market that happened here. So price has to now start reclaiming its zones to retrace. The only clear zone I can see right here that probably is gonna be a nice retest is right there. That's the only zone I can see that you know it's predicted that chances are if we break here, we're gonna see this 50K zone for Solana, which will be super amazing for investors to add in the bag. So that was the previous resistance. Right now we are still in a free fall. Like if Bitcoin continues to fall, we are gonna see a very strong fall from Solana, right? So right now we know we are at a very critical point with Solana, right? So we either breaking it or we are bouncing off of it, right? And you can see last week the last 2 weeks we were super bearish, but last week we had like sort of a doji, which is an initiation candlestick, and we're also forming a doji, but it's still early. We're still on Wednesday, the third day of the week, so we still have like four more days to go to know the price action that's going to happen here. So now we know what's really happening. Okay, we're in a downtrend and we're in a very strong major support, right? So we're expecting a bounce or a break, and here is how we're going to determine what's going to happen, right? So we zoom out. Okay, now we have zoomed out, we have zoomed in. We are now getting into the daily time frame. Okay, this is the daily time frame. And now on the daily time frame, I can now see clearer these zones, and I can adjust my trend line to suit these zones right there. Okay, so now that's on a daily time frame. I think that looks perfect. That looks fantastic. That's the trend. So if you break this trend, of course, break, come retest, and go further up, now that means, oof, we are super bullish. But as long as we are still between this downtrend, that's super bearish, guys. Super bearish. But guys, you can see we are still very strong right here. This support. This is what I'm watching now, guys. Because if you break this now, I'm seeing this move all the way down here, which is a which is a clean 30% move. And I don't know how far have we moved so far. Let me see. How far have we moved? Or from all-time high? From all-time high, we are down 50%. That's almost 70%. Fuck. So if we go further down to 50% to $50, that means we are going to see a 100% drop in Solana. I don't think that's gonna happen. But now from the daily time frame, I can now see. Okay, let me just use this. I can now see another area of resistance, which is right here. Okay, which coincides with this. And also there's this other small, like, let me call it a mini zone right there. So in case price drops, we're gonna see, first a 70k retest before we go further down. But I really don't think it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen, well and good. So I'm also looking at this small mini trend line right here. Okay, on the daily time frame, right? So if we break this as well, I'm expecting like a nice I'm expecting like a nice uh, walk all the way to this trend line. It's gonna give us like a nice quick 20%, which is good, right? If we don't break this, I mean, we're going to go further down. It is what it is. That depends on what Bitcoin does, and we just analyze Bitcoin. We've seen that Bitcoin is super bearish, right? Especially on the weekly time frame. So yeah, from there now we go to the 4 hour. I think this year now we are going to be looking and waiting now for setups. Okay, so um, and this zone now I can also start identifying many resistance zone. Like now this, you can see a price came, bounced, came, bounced, came, break, bounced, came, bounced there, then came, bounced again. So this seems like a very clear resistance zone right there. Okay, that's a very clear resistance zone. So we that's why we came, bounced as well. Okay, and then it's matching very it was in tandem with the trend line right there. Second touch came down, had another touch. Now we're back down, guys. We're back down, we're back down, right? And also there's also this. Now this is where now we start having now this mini zone. You can see there's now this other mini zone. But now with this trend line, we can just wait and see if we're going to bounce or we're going to fall back down, depending on how BTC does. So guys, that's how I do my top-down analysis, and that's how experts want us to do it. It's amazing, guys. I mean, feel it feels like you know what you're doing. Like it just makes sense. Okay, having a weekly perspective, daily perspective, 4 hour perspective. So even if I go to the 1 hour 1 hour to make my trades, I know I'm good. I know I'm fucking confident with results, and I'm waiting patiently to see what happens. Cheers, guys. Let me know what you think. Comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let us become trading gurus together, guys. Remember, I'm not a guru. I'm just a person who's learning every day, who's sharing my thoughts and sharing my journey, my process until we become, billionaires, until we make it in trading. This is the hardest career, guys, to make easy money. So, cheers, guys.